there is that PHP absolutely dominates the server-side space. In fact, PHP has a monopoly on server-side technology that's comparable to Google's monopoly of search engines. If you look at the percentages, and in fact, on my channel, I can give you a link if you want.
Yeah, we'll drop it in
I
there.
can give you a link to an article. Well, I'll give you a link to an article. Don't worry about my channel. That goes into this, gives you the numbers. And in fact, over the last 10 years, far from declining, PHP has become more popular. This is perhaps more interesting. There's a kind of quiet revolution going on in web development, not just PHP, but web development generally. And people are now looking at the way frameworks are constantly being rewritten. And they're asking, well, who actually benefits from this? Take Laravel, for example. Until then, imagine buying a new Mercedes-Benz car and the guy says, I'll see you in 6 months because that's when your new engine's due, right? Mercedes would be out of business within 2 years if they had that type of business model. But that has become the norm, not only in PHP, but sadly in the whole web development industry. We know that since about 2015, PHP has gone through a lot of change. And now we have these bizarre norms where people are using the Composer, Packagist, PSR4 autoloading, Triad. And there are a lot of developers who are now asking the question, is this really the best way to load up stuff? Is there another way? And every benchmark known to humanity suggests that maybe there is another way.
Yeah, NPM, like they pick up this bad habit from NPM.
But in any event, I found one that I really liked, and it was actually a layout library. And I contacted the guy and I says, I love your CSS framework. I've done a whole bunch of videos. I'm using it everywhere. It's fantastic. I don't know how, I'd maybe recorded 50 or 60 videos using this CSS thing. And I says, this is great. And you know what the guy said to me? Wait until you see the next version. It's coming out in 2 weeks' time.
Especially if it breaks, and you know, with the front end, back end, with the Vue. And I don't agree with that style. And then they alienated the monolithic group who still wanted to keep everything in one place. So now they have some split strategy. They have some JavaScript that they're trying to put in there. So it's all gone. It's very, very confusing. They're rolling out new changes all the time, and you're not seeing those improvements. So at Trongate, you're keeping everything. Are you using any third-party packages?
None.
Zero.
Zero.
Totally independent. This guy is self-sufficient. If GitHub goes down, you can just guarantee that you can still continue to use Trongate. Downloadable in a zip file, I assume. I remember you can still get it in a zip file.
But Trongate, I like to think anyway, is the first credible alternative to all of that stuff. And it's not a micro framework.
No.
If we wrote a list of all of the features of any framework you care to mention and put it side by side with Trongate, I think we could give them a good run for their money.
And anyone who's bringing PHP back, we're going to support them. And if you got a good idea, I'm always a big believer, right, that minus the marketing, if you've got great software, people are going to find out, they're going to use it, and people are going to tell everybody else. And I've seen it happening. I've seen it with vue.js, right? Dwarfed, no supporter by Facebook and Google, and people criticizing it, you know, just one man, Evan Yu, making that. And I think Trongate's got that same idea, a great idea about stability, about not being in composer hell and dependency hell. Guys, if you ever use a project that I've taken over 5 years in the future that hasn't been updated, and you press the composer, you can literally there's literally blood coming out of your screen with all the red warnings there. You will want to look at Trongate. You will want to look at this stable framework, right? That is got everything inbuilt. It's a very exciting thing. We're gonna end